So many bees. The bees are up and they are in full flight. Oh, this just feels so good. It's only +5 right now. These bees are just ready to get going, I guess. So as the rule on the honey farm, anytime, any moment that we're able to work with bees, we're out working with bees. So it's definitely a bee working day today. They are heavy into the feeders. Looks like they've been flying for a little while so far today. Well, these bees are going absolutely bonkers over this. Oh, I just love the sound of this activity. The bees are also in the syrup feeder. This is working quite nice. We have wood floats in here and a bit of straw, so they don't drown. They're all nicely lined up there, sucking out all the syrup. So there isn't a whole lot of traffic here, which means that there won't be a whole lot of fighting. So we're only putting 1 or 2 open feeders per yard just to provide them that inflow of syrup. Some years I put pails on in the spring. Just depends how hungry these hives are. For the most part, these hives are heavy enough. They have enough stores inside. They don't really need that emergency feed of syrup up on top. So anyways, we're going to be going through, and Carrie's out dropping some more syrup into these open totes. And I'm going to start putting patties on these colonies and putting apivar strips in. So now is the time to get this job done. I'm going to poke down to a few colonies just to see how they're maintaining their brood, their nest. Last time I was here before the snow, she laid frames full of eggs. So I just want to see if they hung on to all those eggs and moved those eggs into larvae just to step that development of the nest forward. Or I want to see if she laid the eggs, and I want to see if the workers, cannibalized some of those eggs, pulled back the nest just because of the cold. Because it got down to -18 2 nights ago, and then -15 3 nights ago. So it's pretty cold. So I just want to see if that weather kind of shocked them back. Tip these guys back, and these are a box of bees. They're heavy, so that's good. Heavy's really good. So the first thing I'm going to do is, before I dig down in here, like anybody should when they go into their beehive, you got to figure out what the hell you want to actually achieve by going down into the nest. So what I'm doing is I'm just going down and I'm just observing to see whether or not they have enough food stores. I'm observing to see if that queen is continued her laying. I want to see if those bees have taken those eggs that have been laid right after they come out of the shed. And I want to see if those bees have taken those eggs and moved them on to developing out larvae to advance that nest forward. I want to see if they maybe have cannibalized all that potential as they snap back because of the cold we've had over the last few days, especially because there's no inflow of resources coming in. I just want to see the progression of this nest as it moves forward. I'm also looking at food stores, the honey on hand for sure, but I want to see whether or not they've been getting that opportunity to go out to the syrup feeder and bring that fresh syrup back into the colony. And they have. You can see this frame here is being stored full of syrup, and that's really important when these colonies, like, we're always focusing on protein, but it's that sugar source is extremely important. That's that other part of the equation. So you got to get that fresh sugar coming into the colony, otherwise they won't be excited enough to start brooding up. So I'm just going to go down, I'm going to dig down into the center of the nest, and that's basically where the activity is going to be, where I want to see. So there's some capped brood surrounded by eggs. And I'm looking on this side of the frame, again, capped brood. A little patch of capped brood surrounded by eggs. So those eggs have just been laid recently. What I want to look for is larvae that's developing out. Here's another frame of brood, capped brood, surrounded by eggs again. Capped brood surrounded by eggs, and we're starting to get into larvae that's mature, that's hatched, and the bees are starting to take it on into the larval stage. So there's a little bit of ambition there. I'm also seeing this nest rimmed with syrup, which is extremely exciting. That means the bees are getting the opportunity to go out to the syrup feeder, bring back this fresh syrup. When I was first going through the nests, right after I put them outside, just those spot checks I was doing, the nest was really dry. There's capped brood, there's the queen. Capped brood surrounded by eggs. I want to see more mature larvae. Again, capped brood surrounded by eggs. There we go. So we got a frame that has more mature larvae on it, rimmed with eggs. Okay, we have all stages of larvae on this frame. Capped brood, mature larvae, eggs, the whole bit. And then we're going to get back in the feed frames here. Oh no, we're still into brood here. So this is what I want to see. I want to see this brood. I just want to see the egg stage, because what I'm looking for is the advancement from the egg stage, which is telling me what I'm seeing here, a nice pattern, like nice and uniform. So what I'm seeing is these bees have held enough girth to be able to, and this side too, this side's full of mature brood, like mature larvae. So that cold weather didn't seem to hold these guys back at all. I was afraid that this cold weather had snapped that colony back a little bit, and you know, they had cannibalized those eggs, or maybe because there isn't that inflow of syrup and protein, that they would be pessimistic and they wouldn't take those eggs to advance them to that next stage of development, which is the larval stage, because it's the worker bees that decide that. So I'm treating my colonies with Apivar. This is a mite treatment. I'm using my chemical resistant gloves. I hate these things, they're so cumbersome. But you use one strip for every 5 frames of bees. This is a box of bees, so they're getting 2 strips. And this one nice thing about singles is it's nice and tight. The bees are tight, kind of confined in this box, so they develop out this nest. And those mites can't get away from these strips, so it's a very effective way of treating. It's what I call a targeted treatment. Then I'm putting a protein patty on, long overdue. But it looks like they're managing the development of their nest all the same anyways. Holy crap, this yard's alive. Carrie just got stuck over there, found a wet spot, so we're just attempting to pull her out. But this yard, I just can't help to walk through it. This yard is absolutely terrific in activity. The open feeder is just going bonkers. This is a supplement feeder. Just going crazy. Holy crap. So many bees. You're just about done that bag. So we're gonna have to get some more in there. But we won't do that until, so many bees. We won't do that until we have a nice stretch of warm weather come through so they can finish up the scraps here. Oh, I just love this. I witness this every chance I get the opportunity. This is surreal. So that just keeps the rainwater out. It's supposed to rain again tonight. But they can access the feeder through those little holes. So that'll satisfy them. As soon as we get some nice weather come through, we'll take the tops off, maybe throw a couple more bags down. Just provide them open access, just so they're not so confined and restricted. Holy. This yard is alive. Now as my attention goes towards the bloody pulling in to do some syrup feeding. Now time to get it out.